saving our community. Now, if I happen to save a soul along the way, don't hold that against me. We'll just call that icing on the cake. Now, the mission at Marketing Pulpit Show is to build strong businesses in our community so that we can put our people to work. And we do that with business development, job creation, and service. So if you ever find yourself in a business crossroads and not sure which way to turn, just turn on the Marketing Pulpit Show because we're on a mission. You can also find the show on the major platforms, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and you can find it at marketingpulpit.com. What the show is all about, you can find out more about me, yours truly. So just go to Marketing Pulpit. We're also on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn, and we're on Twitter. So welcome again on this beautiful Christmas Eve. We have an exciting show today. I'm Robert Gatewood. My company is Gatewood Marketing and Web, and also I'm the producer and host of the Marketing Pulpit Show, which is a subsidiary of Gatewood Marketing. We have Marketing Pulpit International. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in on this. Well, it's a kind of weather's a little testy today. I guess leading into this holiday, we got we got hail today. We have rain. We have ice. It's a mixed bag today. So thank you again for tuning in. Today we've got a lot of things we're going to talk about. We're going to dedicate this show to the holiday season. And if you're a celebrant of Christmas, then this show is for you. But we're also celebrating all faiths, regardless of your faith. This time of year is a great time to reflect and to find out what's important to us, to give, to be aware of other people who are in need. And so this show is no exception. So we're going to recognize the people who are celebrating Christmas in a couple of days, and then everybody else, because there are other holidays that are celebrated this month. For instance, Hanukkah actually is celebrating. I think it starts on the 18th and runs right up to December 26th. Kwanzaa also is celebrated during this month. It starts on the 26th and runs up to early January. And so this is a month of celebrating, a month of reflection, a month of giving, a month of acknowledging and appreciating the things that we have accomplished and the things that we're going to be doing going forward. It's a good time to plan also and to look at where we're heading into 2023. So once again, thank you. Later in the show, we're going to talk about, got a couple of things we're going to talk about. One, we're going to talk about somebody watching you. You'd be amazed how we have these cameras everywhere now, and we have some interesting stories in the news. So one of the themes of the day is that it's not only Santa Claus watching you, there's other people watching you too. So we have some interesting stories in our business news later on. We're also going to talk about taking some business reality checks. You have to do a business reality check from time to time to make sure that you are still where you intended to be and that you're still going in the direction in which you intended. So we're going to talk about that later in the show also. We also want to acknowledge our sponsor and our partner in this venture, BLE Executive Suites. Miss Bernadette Clay and company over there, they have quite a business. They have their 3 locations, one in National Harbor, one in Largo, and one in College Park, which is a hub zone. So if you're a government contractor and you're trying to get your business into the government space in 2023, you want to call BLE and talk about getting a suite, a private office, because those private offices do qualify for SAM certification. SAM is, of course, the Systems Award Management. You have to be in SAMs to do government contracting. And one of the requirements is that you have an office. And so BLE is a great place for government contractors. And if you want that government hub zone affiliation, which there's other money set aside for people in hub zones, then BLE qualifies for that. Call them at 301-322-1700. They're also restarting with Gatewood Marketing and the Marketing Pulpit. We are rebirthing the First Friday. So First Friday is a networking event. It comes on the first of every month. Now it's going to be at 11:30 on Fridays, on the first Friday of each month. So you can go to marketingpulpit.com and register. There's a banner on the right side So go ahead and register for that first Friday networking event. What a great way to start 2023. We're working on the mindset. You'll be listening to Miss Bernadette Clay, and talks about how she succeeded. And she's willing to share that information with others, as well as yours truly, who will be there at these events. So go to marketingpulpit.com, and on the right side, you will see the banner where you can register for the first Friday coming up. I want to say good morning to a few people tuning in online. I see Michelle. Good morning, Michelle. Thank you for tuning in this morning. I see Brother Brown. Thank you again, Brother Brown, for tuning in. And it's great to have you tuning in this morning. If you want to get your name shouted out, or if you want to comment on any of the stories, just go to Facebook or Marketing Pulpit, and you can tune into the show live, whether you're on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter. Drop a note in the feed, and we'll shout you out. If you want to just say hello, you want to just say happy holidays, just want to plug your business, we're here today to do that for you as we wrap up 2023. And this is our special edition Christmas show. Speaking of Christmas, as most of us know, and for those who don't know, just a reminder that Christmas is an annual festival commemorating the birth of Jesus Christ, observed primarily on December 25th as a religious and cultural celebration among billions of people around the world. It's a public holiday in many countries, and celebrated religiously by the majority of Christians, as well as culturally by non-Christians. So that is what we are celebrating. We also, as we mentioned earlier, recognizing Kwanzaa and Hanukkah, which is also celebrated this time of year, and Las Pasados, it's a Mexican holiday, which celebrates the journey of Mary and Joseph that they took to get to Bethlehem, where they had trouble finding a hotel room and ended up sleeping in an inn. Another bit of trivia on this day: if you're a Amazon worker, it has the highest number of injury rates this time of year, more so than lumberjacks and coal miners. So that's an interesting bit of trivia. And also, did you know that Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, is the favorite Christmas food in Japan? Wow, interesting bit of trivia there. But let's talk about this time of year, for instance, right now. What I want you to do is add one more name to your Christmas list, or whatever list, your Kwanzaa list, your Hanukkah list, Las Pasados list. There's one name I want you to put on your list today. Take a minute. I know you got this list all written out. You got your BFF, your boo, your boss, family members, but there's one person, me. No, I'm just kidding. It's not me. Well, I don't get mad at you, but it's yourself. I want you to put yourself on the list. I'm gonna give you some items I want you to give yourself. You can wrap them up, slide them right under the tree with the Old Spice and the bedroom slippers and the robes that you didn't never wear and all the items that have been regifted. I want you to put these items on the list. First thing I want you to give yourself is give yourself some alone time, some escapism. You do not have to participate in the madness if you don't want to. That's a gift that you can give to yourself. Give yourself some rest. Man, let me tell you, take a minute, take an hour, take a day, take a week, take the whole month if you have to. Folks, we need to give ourselves time to rest and rejuvenate. I want you to give yourself some mental peace. Stop trying to reason with unreasonable people. Just sometimes it's better to just walk away. Give yourself that mental peace this time of year. I also want you to give yourself the right to be you. Embrace your individuality. Embrace your you-ness. This time of year, because sometimes, I'm telling folks, sometimes you don't get these gifts from other people. I want you to give yourself the spirit of forgiveness. Not just forgiving other people, but forgive yourself. Give yourself a break. If you didn't accomplish all your goals this year, if you may have made some missteps, taken a few misdeeds, offended a few people, you're human. You're human. None of us go out here trying to hurt people or miss our goals. If you're going to be embracing the spirit of forgiveness for others, I want you to give yourself some latitude as well. Let's forgive ourselves, let's forgive others, and let's do better. This is a great time because when we forgive others, also, it helps us. When we forgive ourselves, it gives us the acknowledgement that we are human and that we're going to do better in the future. And last but not least, I want you to give yourself the spirit of congratulations. You made it. You made it this far. Many people didn't. I was talking to a friend earlier this week. Her mom died like 2 days ago. I know friends that have passed away this week. You've made it. So that is an accomplishment. Some of your businesses have survived another year. Pat yourself on the back. So these are some gifts that you can give yourself. Put your name on that list. And if you already have it, these are some gifts that you can re-gift. If you already have the rest, if you already have the forgiveness, the mental space, and the right to be you, it's okay to wrap those items up and give them to others. And I'm sure they will be grateful for that act of kindness. All right, let's see. We're going to take a couple of items on the news that's going on because we're going to keep with this theme going today. The life expectancy has fallen again in the United States. That is really baffling. But I have my theory on why the life expectancy is dropping in the United States. I know this may sound controversial. I think it's because there's lack of love, compassion, and then there's this element of racism, sexism, all these isms that it is actually, there is no other reason or justification why the United States should be having a lower life expectancy than some of these third world countries. Until we start loving everybody and treating everybody fairly and stop being so concerned about others getting ahead of you when you should be focusing on yourself, then we're going to continue to see this country descend into this third world status. There is no rational reason that this country should be experiencing a drop in life expectancy. That's just my take on that. Now, here's an interesting story too. Black women, I love my sisters, they are worn out from discrimination in corporate America. And for that reason, they are leaving corporate America in droves and starting their own businesses. Now, I can speak from experience. My most populous demographic in my company are Black women. I get more Black women customers than any other type of demographic, including Black men, including white men or women, Latino, Asian. That is the demographic that comes to me the most. I don't think I have anything special. It's probably other companies are probably experiencing this as well. So corporate America needs to wake up. They're about to lose a very valuable asset. And that is the talent that Black women bring to the table. I say more power to you. Go out there and spread those wings. If they don't appreciate it, then do it for yourself. That's one way. That goes back to those gifts that you can give to yourself. Go ahead and do it yourself. I want to say good morning to Bradley Thomas. Thank you for tuning in. Brother Thomas, attorney over in Washington, D.C., and great follow of the show. Thank you for tuning in this morning. Now we're going to talk about this theme of everybody's. It's not just Santa Claus watching you. In Radio City, a Girl Scout mom was going to see the Rockettes, and facial recognition software recognized her as an attorney for a law firm that was representing a company that was filing a lawsuit against MGM. And they recognized her, and they barred her from entering the show. All right, we got a break coming up. I'm going to finish this after the break. But this just tells you, ladies and gentlemen, Santa Claus may be watching you, but there's some other people watching you as well. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. Hang on a second. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to finish this show. We're also going to talk about some reality checks for 2023. Thank you again for tuning in. This is the Marketing Pulpit. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back in a moment. Welcome to the Marketing Pulpit Show, and I am Robert Gatewood, your host. We are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good of marketing gospel. We're not saving souls, we're saving businesses. We are back. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and I'm here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. If you haven't already, go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. You'd be amazed at the information. I was kind of flipping through that today myself, and all of the different topics that we talk about on this show. If you are a business owner and you're trying to start a business and you need some guidance, some information on what to do in certain situations, just go to our YouTube channel and just type in a search. Once you get to our page, you can go to marketingpulpit.com. That information is also there. We have the YouTube channel broadcasting the show live right there on the homepage of Marketing Pulpit. So people who are not necessarily on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter, heaven forbid, it's Twitter, you can actually go to marketingpulpit.com. We want to make this information available and accessible to as many people as possible. Also, I'm an adjunct professor over at Prince George's Community College, where I also teach these topics. Been doing that now for about 25 years. And so as part of my mission, my purpose, my raison d'etre, I've been trying to make sure this information gets into as many ear holes as possible. And that's why we do this show, because this show is absolutely free. And because certain services are so vital, and not being able to afford it should not be an excuse, particularly when we have this high failure rate of businesses in our community. So I'm glad to provide this service, this show as a community service to business owners. Let's talk about some other items. We talked about the lady who was going to Radio City, and she is an attorney. Her firm was suing MGM, and they said, "You're not coming in here." And they actually, now that's a story in itself. But a different story was the fact that this software recognized her as she was entering the facility, and when the security approached her, they called her by her name. They didn't say, "Hey, ma'am, I heard that you may be working for the..." None. They knew who she was. They had all her information, her credentials. I'm just going to let you folks know something. There is software out here right now. They've been keeping it under wraps because the law enforcement people are already using it quite frequently. They just don't tell you. But there is software now, which I'm afraid is going to get into the hand of every Joe Blow in the country, where you can put an app on your device, and the person could be sitting across from you in the bus, on the train, and that person could get your entire history. They can get your name, your social media posts, where you work, your age, your family members. That is where we are, ladies and gentlemen. Just letting you know. Clean up your acts because there's no privacy anymore. And I'm not that happy about it. Now, Willie McGinnis, a former NFL player, he was I guess he's on two sides of the coin. There's a video of him beating up a guy in a club, and of course he and some more guys jumped in and helped the assault. He was caught on camera. There is a camera everywhere. Now he has lost his cushy job as an analyst, as a sports analyst, and they're even talking about taking him out of the Hall of Fame. Folks, there's a couple of things going on. You're being watched, so you might as well clean up your act. I mean, I wish we didn't have to clean up our act for that reason. We should clean up our act just because we're good people. But if there's no other reason to clean up your act, just know that everything you do now is being tracked. A woman was on a plane recently, and a person was videoing her as she slept, really kind of peeping up under her dress. She was an influencer, big social media following, and somehow this person who was on the plane, as a matter of fact, the airline person who, what do you call him now? I think they call him student, flight attendant, told the lady, this guy is actually filming you. Anyway, he was arrested. Another lesson. If you are one of these people who are inappropriately filming people and looking up their skirts and doing all type of things, that's not going to work out for you in the end either. So, like I said, this thing is really getting out of hand. And if that's not bad enough, a passenger in a Uber killed the driver and filmed it and put it on social media. Put it on Facebook. What in the world is going on? And you thought Santa, you worry about Santa not giving you, putting a lump of coal in your stocking because you didn't pay your taxes on time. You have bigger worries, I'm telling you. Santa Claus is the last of your worries, the way things are going right now. Anyway, that's yes. He knows if you've been sleeping, he knows if you're awake, but it's not Santa Claus you need to worry about. All right, let's talk about I'm gonna give quickly also, let's talk about our topic for today. I'm gonna talk about some reality checks as we get toward the end of the year. When I say reality checks, I'm saying every now and then as a business owner, you got to go back and see how you're doing. Things change. Life and business ownership is dynamic. It is not static. And you need to check where you are versus where you were a year ago. So I bring this topic up on an annual basis because this is a good time to do it. You still got a week to change course, to right the ship. The first thing I want you to check on is your purpose, your why, your reason for doing what you're doing as far as business. Is it the same? And sometimes when that purpose changes or that why changes, you may have to change course. Is the purpose you are doing this now is still to make the world a better place? Or has the purpose changed now because now this is your only source of income? You got to make a living. You might not be making any money when you're trying to save the world, but now that that's your main source of income, your purpose or your reason for doing it may have changed. Because of that, now you have to focus more on customer acquisition and putting money in the till than making yourself feel better and saving your fellow man. So that's the first reality check. Has your purpose changed? The second thing, has your experience requirements changed? Some of you have not kept up with your certifications, whether they're requirement for the job or just for doing the job effectively. Sometimes if you're in like the digital space, you need to stay on top of those certifications. Make sure you understand what's going on in the different platforms of social media, SRM, email marketing. You need to make sure that your credentials are up to the task. So that's the second reality. The next thing you need to check on to make sure that the reality is aligned with where you are is your audience. Has your audience changed? Now, sometimes your audience can change for the better. It can change for the worse. But if you're not doing this periodic check, you may not realize now that the audience that you were going at after before is no longer there, or you may find out that there's a bigger audience than you initially sought to attract. So you need to go back and look at your products. Sometimes you have to change the product mix. Sometimes you have to add products. You have to take products away to adjust with the changing landscape as far as your audience is concerned. That's another reality check we need to look into. Another is our services, which ties very closely to the audience. Some of the services that you're offering right now, some of the products that you're selling are facing obsolescence. They're just not in demand anymore. And some of the products that you should be offering, you're not offering. And you may have the tools, the necessary tools, the staff, the technology, to widen your product selection to make it more in line with your audience. You need to do that reality check, and this is a good time of year to do it. You need to do a reality check on your resources, your relationships, your partnerships, your assets, your money. Do you have the resources to fulfill this mission you've embarked upon? Do you need to go out and get a loan? Do you need to spend your money differently? Do you need to build relationships with different stock stakeholders, like joint venturers, partners, funders? Because as the landscape shifts, the resources you need to fulfill those critical missions, it shifts as well. And that's a reality check that you need to look at this time of year as you're about to go into 2023. And last but not least, another reality check. When was the last time you thought about your end game? Where is this? What do you plan to do? Why are you doing it? Goes almost to your mission, but it's different because your end game says, what's my exit strategy? Do I plan to just die in this business? Do I plan to will it to somebody? Do I plan to sell it? Do I plan to make it my primary source of income? Do I'm just doing it as a side hustle? What are your expectations for this particular business? Take a minute, go into a room, pull the drapes, chant, pray. Nomi Arenge Keo, our Father which art in heaven. Whatever you have to do, put some spirituality on this, because those expectations can sometimes be the difference between success and failure. So that's what I want you to do as we go into 2023, is to do a reality check on where you are as a business. What do you need to adjust? Do you need to right the ship? And I'm telling you, folks, this is a harsh reality. Sometimes it's just time to fold the tent. This thing has run its course. Let's go ahead and find the exit door, and let's end it on our terms and not the terms of others. All right, folks, that's the reality check. I want to thank everybody again. I had one more segment. We're getting a little close to the end of the show here. But what I want you to do, this is what I want you to do. Take a minute and let's go back and review this show, and I want you to share it with others. There's some valuable information here. There are business owners out here who are about to go into 2023 unprepared. This is a time of year. Give that gift to yourself of learning, preparing, strengthening your faith in your business, your beliefs, what you're about, and also help others who may be adrift. If you've been listening to this show for the past 13 years, you basically have yourself a degree in marketing and business development, probably more so than people who have actually a certification in those areas. Don't hold this information into yourself. In the spirit of giving this year, share this show with them, share this knowledge with them. You don't have to tell them it came from me. You can I'm going to give you permission to say it came out of your mouth. But whatever we do, let's stem the tide of success, business failures in our community, and make sure that we are not a contributor by withholding vital information that can help people who need this particular help. We're going to wrap things up today, folks. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a happy holiday, and we'll be back for our end of the year show next week, right here on the Marketing Pulpit. We're here every Friday at 10:30 a.m., bringing you the good marketing gospel. Don't forget to register for the upcoming First Friday on January 6th with Miss Bernadette Clay and BLE Suites, Marketing Pulpit, and yours truly, Robert Gatewood. Go to marketingpulpit.com and you'll find all that information right there on the homepage, folks. We're going to wrap it up, and we will see you next week at the same time. And if you want to be successful, you have to do these three things. Do the right thing, do it at the right time, and you have to do it right. Enough talk. Let's get to work. folks, I'm over here. All right, folks, I'm over here working on my faith muscle. I'm trying to think. Do I do push-ups to get that muscle? Do I?
No,
it's not a physical muscle.
It's not a physical muscle.
Right.
And you take baby steps. It's like if you wanted to build real muscle, you go to the gym and you don't just do it one time and say, well, look, I'm good. But if you go to the gym one time expecting to have muscle and you don't go back again, then you'll think it's not working. Okay. So it's the same with faith. It's testing it one step at a time, taking little baby steps at first. If you find that you're developing the faith, the beliefs, and basically it's changing your negative beliefs. So we work on techniques on how to change your negative thinking, your negative beliefs that's blocking you or stopping you from accomplishing your goals. Whatever your goals may be, whether it's to build a big business or to have a great relationship or whatever it is, you need that faith.
As the French say, CC l'émission de radio marketing pulpit adjacent to Robert Gatewood, votre host, a bon évangile marketing. I'm in the studio today with Wena. Hey, Wena, how you doing over there?
Whoop, whoop. What's up, DMV? What's up, everybody?
All right, we have our special guest in the studio today, Dana Chanel.
Hello, how are you?
How you doing today, Dana? You've been a busy young lady today.
Yes, I have, but I mean, listen, we're all gonna die one day, so today's not that day, so I'm gonna do as much as I can.
You know, morbid on a brother. Now I'm gonna be walking across the street looking both ways,
I know,
and
right?
Watching what I eat and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, tell us quickly. Now that's why I like to tell these stories. Tell us how you heard about the Marketing Pulpit radio show. I know your producer had a little hand into it, but
yeah, my publicist.
Okay.
And I thought, when I looked at the show, I thought it was such a clever name. I thought that was so awesome. And you guys have great radio voices, so I'm excited to be here.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Well, tell us about, give us a quick overview of what Dana is about.
Dude, I'm about Christian entrepreneurship. I think I've been talking and saying lately, like, you know, I don't believe everyone's called to entrepreneurship, because to me, entrepreneurship lays side by side with leadership, and not everyone's a leader, and that's 100% okay. But to me, entrepreneurship is something that we all have to be prepared to do, because the way that technology is moving, bro, everyone's losing their jobs. We still have kids going to college for degrees that wouldn't even get them paid. You know what I mean? And so for me, I just want to make sure that we don't just I just want to make sure that we're not just praying for over our food at the table, but we're teaching each other how to put food on the table. You feel me? And so for me, I'm all about family economics, making sure that the family unit is first, and making sure you're the CEO of your family before you can be the CEO of a business.
Ooh, do it, girl.
Freedom ain't free. Don't let that word free throw you off. You have to pay for freedom. This to me has been one of the biggest challenges for most of the folks that I've been trying to push this freedom train onto. They want freedom, but they're not ready to sacrifice. They're still under the shackles of materialism. That's an enslaver. So when you get into this mindset and you start talking about being free, part of the cost of admission is you have to sacrifice something, and you can do it. Because I know in this season of celebration of independence, started with Juneteenth. Let's run it all the way up to July 4th. And let's give new meaning on what it means to be free.
Let me tell you about number 2. The second covert sign that you might be in a seriously unhealthy relationship is if your partner or your relationship in general lacks empathy. Now, I know that's a big word, but empathy is the ability to experience somebody else and their perspective is the ability to have compassion and feel what another person is feeling and understand where they are outside of your own feelings.
You can't put yourself in their shoes.
That's it. When you can't put yourself in someone else's shoes and you can only feel your perspective, or you believe that you're always right, or you're always questioning why someone else feels the way they do when you can't objectively see it from both sides,
right,
then that's going to be a problem. So if you're in a relationship where it seems like your partner never stops to think about how their actions or their behavior is going to impact you or make you feel, then that's a red flag. You need to run.
Low down, dirty chain. Where's Evelyn Champagne King when you need her?
Wait, what?
You don't know Evelyn Champagne King? Chain, keep the home fire.
Oh.
You can make money while you sleep. It may be an oversimplification in some instances and not so much in others. When we're talking about passive income and making money while you sleep, like most things in life, all things are not created equally. There's some you can make while you totally asleep. You can sleep for a week or two and not even worry about it. Others, you might be jumping up in the middle of the night because things are happening you have to attend to. So your sleep might be interrupted. Some you got to do a little work on. Some you got to do a lot of work on. So a lot of things have been thrown into that passive income basket. But I do like that concept that when I'm laying in the bed at night and I'm making money, that it doesn't mean that I didn't do some work before I lay down. So there's varying degrees of passive income. Strong fences make good neighbors. Now, what does that mean? If you have a neighbor on one side of you or the other side or behind you, if you don't have a good fence, your dog gonna be running in your yard, the kids gonna be playing kickball and knocking out your windows, and the lawnmower is gonna be cutting on your side and all kind of stuff going on. And it's gonna create some hostility because you didn't have a strong fence. You put a strong fence there, everything is clear. Keep your kid over here, keep your dog over here, don't have him over here in my yard doing the nasty. And the same thing when it comes to contracts and agreements. Get you a strong agreement. Get it in writing. Strong fences do make good neighbors.